It's made out of peas. It's pea protein. So basically I'm pushing pea. Can't open it like a bag of chips. And then you just do that. Again, it's so easy. What they do. It's your boy, TJ, Too Smooth, Treasure One. Football game going in the background. Bear with me. So, I'm about to meal prep me something up. If you guys have been noticing, I've been doing the Logan Performance Burn and Shred Challenge. I've been seeing great results, more definition. What I'm really working on is the abs. I want more definition in the abs, and I want a flatter, tighter core and midsection. Now, that's not all, because once I'm done with this 5-week training, I'll be moving on to strength. So it's like I'm attacking the core first, right? The problem area, the core. I want stability, I want tightness, I want more ab definition. Then after that, you know, I got the stability, I got the trunk, I got the legs. Then I'm going for strength. I'm going to be training for strength, whether that's a heavy 8, a heavy 5, or whether it's push-ups, deadlifts, or squats. But we're going to be training for strength. But anywho, now we're going to get this food together. So you know, when you start training and you start a new regimen, the diet is necessary, right? So I'll be meal prepping 5 meals at a time. I eat these meals once a day now, but soon I will be eating them twice a day. So meal prepping is essential when it comes to getting your nutrition in and the right amount and the right balance of nutrition, whether it's the protein, the carb, the micronutrients that are in your greens. So what all do we have? Not just kale. No, I'm not a vegan, but I do drink vegan protein. I'll show y'all that in a second. But the green, very simple, guys. Don't overthink this meal prep stuff before I like say everything. Matter of fact, I'll just say everything and then say my piece. Boom, kale greens, flounder, wild rice. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Looks like maize. Looks like something from a Native American feast. Now let me give y'all a quick little rundown. So I keep it very, very simple, guys, because you don't have to overthink your meal prep. You don't have to turn into a sous chef just because you're prepping food for your health. Flounder is extremely low on the mercury scale. So is cod, and so is salmon. What's high on the mercury scale, guys, is tuna. But people love tuna because it's so thick, packs a lot of protein, but you don't want to eat that too often. This stuff right here, though, good for you to use this, mix it up with the cod, and then, you know, maybe you do this for a week, you do cod for a week, you do fish for a week, right? And then one of these days, you'll probably see me do like ground turkey or like a lean ground beef, okay? Then, boom, we got the kale greens. I love kale ever since I discovered kale. I used to work at Whole Foods in the frozen section when I was like 20, and they told me about kale and how it was a superfood and it had all the phytonutrients and micronutrients that you need, and more than broccoli, because broccoli is not a real vegetable and all this stuff. So I love kale ever since I heard about it. And you're gonna see what I do with this. I steam it, I don't boil it. Again, I steam it, I don't boil it. Why? Because I'm gonna heat it up again anyway in the microwave, and then all of the juices from the fish and all of the moisture from the rice will get into the kale. And then boom, last but not least, we got our wild rice. This is enough. This is 5 servings of wild rice, soon to be 10. But this stuff takes a while to cook. And you'll notice when you put the water in there, when you start to boil it, the water will actually turn brown. So the water starts turning brown. It doesn't mean that it's dirty. That's literally it's like plant melanin. What is it called? Chlorophyll. It's the chlorophyll within the brown rice. So let the water get brown, let it start to boil. You want it to get hot, and you just leave it there and let it simmer for a while, because the rice is low-key kind of crunchy. But honestly, if you're reheating it, it'll get softer when you reheat it, and that's what I've noticed. All right, so now without further ado, let me show y'all how I prep this. The The fish gets cooked extremely quick in the air fryer. The kale gets cooked extremely quick because all we're doing is putting a little bit of lemon and we're steaming it. And then the brown rice, that has to simmer the longest. So let me show y'all what I put on my food to season it. And so guys, I rinse my rice, you know, because again, rice is a grain. It comes from a mill, a grain mill. So in the mill are things like rats and bugs, you know, little beetles and weevils. So you want to rinse your rice because some of those things might come floating up to the top. Not a whole rat, but like just some of the dust. And of course, the heat from the water is going to kill any germs, but we want to rinse that rice, at least soak it slightly. See, some people will let their rice soak for hours, so it's easier to cook. But not us, guys. We're cooking this all in 20 minutes flat. Now, I put more rice in there, and the truth about it is, let me move this out of the way. The truth about it, it's gonna take even longer to cook now because all of this has to warm up. But that's fine because while it's warming up, we're gonna season our fish. All right, y'all, so this right here is seasoning made easy. Seasoning made easy, meal prep made easy. You gotta get yourself some salt-free seasonings. Doesn't matter what you get, as long as you like it. I got salt-free garlic and herb and salt-free original. This is kind of like, I guess if there was a Mrs. Dash version of this, it would be like chicken seasoning, basically. And I just mix them up, right? I like the flavor, I like the herbs. There's no salt. It's very zesty. So the air fryer is how we're cooking these. So like I said before, super easy. There's no rocket science to this. You just season up your fish. One side, season the other. Drop it on that paper. And continue to do the same thing over and over. Boom, voila. And you're probably wondering like, well, Terry, when are you gonna use the other seasoning? Right now. And by the way, flounder is kind of a thin fish. They put 2 different fillets in each packet. So you're gonna wanna use 2 fillets for each meal. Heads up. Bam. Bam. All right, y'all. So the air fryer is literally the simplest way to cook anything. Like, if you don't know how to figure out an air fryer, this is not what you need to be doing. You probably should be somewhere else figuring out how to do basic stuff in the kitchen, right? But boom, what you're gonna do is take your fish, pop it in that air fryer, choose your setting, which is literally fish, and let it cook. 15 minutes, starting now. You can see our wild rice is boiling just fine. And I know you guys see that brown water coming from all that chlorophyll in the rice grains. You just gotta let that thing boil, man. Let it boil up, let it simmer. You might have to pour more water in there because this rice is just tough. It's kind of like brown rice, right? When you get a bag of brown rice, you try to cook that, it takes a while. It's not like cooking white rice where it gets really plush and puffy and sticky in a matter of like 10 minutes. You gotta let that cook. Next, we're gonna do the kale. So now you gotta bring this water here to a boil. So why do I have a strainer over a pot of water? So once this boils, the steam is gonna start coming through the strainer. That's when we drop our kale onto the strainer and allow that steam to come up through it. And you'll see that it begins to cook on its own. You don't have to do a whole lot to it. You literally just watch the kale, stir it a little bit, and it'll begin to wilt into, you know, a softer version of kale. And while we wait on this to boil, let's get our bowls together. Boom. We got our bowls ready. Still waiting on this water to heat up so it can start steaming and boiling. I should put a little salt. I don't know the exact reason but ionized salt, when added to water, allows the water to boil quicker. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you know, it's science and stuff you wouldn't understand. All right, guys, while my battery is still going, we got a bag o' kale here by Nature's Greens. Bold, bittersweet kale, already pre-washed, right? Ready to go. And what we're gonna do with this kale, you see the steam coming off of here. Can't open it like a bag of chips. You saw me just try and fail. Go ahead and pop that thing and bust it that way. All right, so boom. We're gonna take big handfuls because we like our greens. We're gonna put them boom, like so. Like so. Like so. All right, and now watch as that steam begins to just get into that kale. And we help it out by dropping just a tad bit of lemon juice. Not a lot, just a tad, not a lot. Mix that thing up. Boom. Right, mix that up. And it's starting to get more and more wilted. It's not falling apart. You don't want that mushy gushy kale. You want it to have some more life to it, some crunch in it, you know? And boom, it's starting to look beautiful. Let's add a little bit of seasoning to that. All right, and this is gonna be 1 bowl's worth of kale. And then you just do that again. It's so easy. If you can proudly say that you've eaten an entire bag of kale in a week, I think you're doing pretty good, and you're probably pretty regular on that toilet. Boom, y'all, the rice is finished. This is how you want your rice to look. You want it to look like swollen with the water, right? Because it's gonna be nice and mushy and soft when you eat it. You don't wanna eat crunchy rice. If you've ever cooked before, you've made crunchy rice, and you don't wanna do that twice. Ooh, that rhyme. I'm Treasure One on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I do write music, but anywho, that's probably the music you hear in the background. But this is what you want your rice to look like, long story short. We're gonna put our strainer here in the sink. We're gonna place our rice on the strainer. And we're gonna get all that excess moisture out. Why? Because, guys, we're storing this in Tupperware in the fridge. You don't want all that extra water just sitting in the Tupperware. That could cause like mold or something. So you just wanna go ahead and do like so. Get all that water up out of there. All that rice juice up out of there. Strain it out. Strain it out. If you wanna blanch it by adding more water, cold water, you can do that. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just getting all that cold, dirty rice water up off of there. And man, this looks good. I wanna eat it right now, but I'm not. And then this is what's left behind. Gross. Check it out. The easiest way to do this and proportion it out is whatever you add to one bowl, you add to the rest of the bowls. And you do all that, you keep doing that until all the rice is gone. So, boom, watch. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. Oh yeah, that flounder, y'all. That flounder is fall apart. Flaky. It smells so good. And I know it's ready to eat right now, but I'm gonna toast that thing a little bit more. And while we're waiting for the fish to finish, let me show y'all my plant-based protein that I use. It's Equate protein. I got this from Walmart. It's made out of peas. It's pea protein. So basically I'm pushing P. 2 scoops of this stuff is 30 grams of protein. I put it in a shake with a bunch of frozen berries and a banana. Fire. Boom. So this is how your fish should look when it's done. It should look nice and crispy like it was actually in the air fryer. I'm gonna place 2 pieces per bowl of said flounder. Voila. And there we have it, y'all. 5 prep meals of delicious, well-seasoned flounder. Look at the steam coming off of that thing. Y'all see that? Oh yeah, you can see it. But yeah, flounder, wild rice, and kale, all done in a matter of, what has it been, 40 minutes tops. Meal prep is not hard, it's not difficult. The reason I chose fish is because fish does last a bit longer in the fridge than chicken. Chicken in the fridge after like the 3rd day, it just doesn't taste the same. It tastes really stale. It's kind of like eating just like a block of, something. But this keeps its flavor. It's very light, it's flaky, it's delicious. So anyway, try this for yourself. We'll see y'all in the next one. And subscribe to the channel. Share this with somebody who needs to see it. It's 2022. People are starting to get back in the gym, starting to eat healthy again. So if you're trying to make that choice right now, this is a great way to do it. Anyway, TJ Too Smooth. See y'all in the next one. Cheers.